Today, we're going to talk about things you shouldn't do when writing business emails in English. We've just published a blog on this subject, so if you work in English, go and read the new blog as it gives great tips and pieces of advice on how you can improve your business email writing skills. I want to speak about 3 pieces of advice in the blog. The first one is on how you greet people in an email. So, when you learn English, you're taught to start an email or a letter with dear and then the person's name. So, let's imagine you're writing to a Mrs. Beyonce Carter. You'd maybe start your email with Dear Mrs. Carter. Dear Beyonce would also work, but it's slightly less formal. Now, that's good, and you can continue using dear. However, it is worth noting that people are leaning more and more towards less formal ways of communicating in the workspace. So you'll see hi a lot more. So starting an email with hi Beyonce is also acceptable. If you do decide to start with hi, it's best to follow with the person's first name. Hey is a little bit too informal, so we'd advise you not to use it. The second piece of advice is to avoid using vague subject lines. So, when writing business emails in English, it's very important you summarize the point of your email in your subject line. So, avoid using subject lines like quick question or urgent written in capital letters. These don't tell your recipient what your email is about, and you make your email difficult to locate should they need to refer back to it. If, for example, you're writing with a question about a new contract you're working on, include the contract name and the main question in your subject line. If you're writing about a fire drill happening on Thursday, then make your subject line fire drill planned for Thursday. Basically, make your subject lines precise so that your recipient knows what they'll be reading about. And the third piece of advice from the blog that I want to talk about is this: avoid at all costs sending angry emails. Uh, this is less of an English language point, but is useful for anyone writing business emails in any language. Now, of course, colleagues will make you angry from time to time, but writing an angry email won't do anything to help the situation. So here's some advice: write the email if you must, and then delete it. Use writing as therapy, but don't send your colleagues what you have written. I sometimes take a step away from my desk and go and make myself a cup of tea or go for a walk. It gives me time to clear my head and gain perspective on the situation. Then, once I feel calmer, I can come back to my computer and write an email that is a lot more level headed. A calm sounding email will be a lot more effective in moving a project forward than an angry sounding one. We've covered a lot of other points in our new blog post on things you shouldn't do when writing business emails in English. So make sure you go and have a read of it, especially if you use English in your workspace. Enjoy reading the blog and see you on the podcast in our next episode. Bye.